Do you have the time to listen to me whine about a shitty movie about a guy in a basket?
That's right. We watched Basket Case. We watch it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
So bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Mogoons? Happy October, and welcome to the Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton, and with me today is my ex-conjoined twin who now lives in a box, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron.
Yeah, I don't even get a basket. I get a box.
Yeah, you just get a box. You get my laundry basket with my stinky socks in it.
God, no wonder I'm on a murderous rampage.
Yeah. Anyway, guys. Aaron, yeah. I'm sorry. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Hanging in there.
All right. Well, that's the most we can ask for. But you know what? It is October now. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm thrilled about that. And we're going to kick things off with an oldie but a goodie. A classic that for some reason I don't know how we haven't gotten to yet.
Well, it's always been on our radar.
Yeah,
Kept getting kicked. The basket, if you will,
yes,
kept getting kicked down the road. We just never picked it up. It was always like, hey, let's do basket. Oh, I've got this one already lined up. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
let's do basket. Oh, it's December. We got to do it's like we just never. It never.
Yeah,
came together.
Yeah, part was like everybody knows Basket Case. I mean, most people, if you don't know this movie, then I don't know what's going on. But most people know about it. So I was like,
if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't heard of Basket Case, what's wrong with you? Are you mental or something?
You live in a basket.
You live in a basket? Get it right, Marshall. Quit saying box.
I said basket that time. So yeah, we're doing Basket Case, and this week is Aaron. This was Aaron's choice, actually. He decided, you know what, let's just fucking do it.
It's like let's do it.
All right, let's do it. You're gonna take the lead on this one. But before we do, let's first of all, I want to say a big shout out to all of our Patreons. Again, just thank you very much for you guys who continue to support, even during our hiatuses. Hiatuses. That sounds too much like high tie.
Multiple hiatus.
Multiple hiatus.
Well, it's not really multiple. Like last week,
I don't know.
Last week was just bad timing, but
yeah, last week was just bad. But yeah, but thank you for sticking with us, and hopefully more of you guys will jump on board as well. We appreciate the support. We love you guys. With that said, I don't think there's anything else I really have to say or talk about. Want to mention right now. We have a big block. We will say our Halloween episode this year is going to be a big blockbuster movie. We got a big one locked in this, loaded up in the barrel. Lock, stocked, and ready to go on a big movie for this year's Halloween.
It's funny because I don't even know what it is because you never tell me.
We talked about it.
But I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, you do. You just forgot. But we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about Basket Case. This movie was released in 1982, an oldie but a goodie, like I said. Written and directed by Mr. Frank Henenlotter. Who also directed Brain Damage, Basket Case 1, 2, and 3. I did not realize they made a third one.
Right? I know there was two.
They made a sequel, but I didn't realize they made a third.
Apparently it was like right on the heels of number 2.
Yeah. Frankenhooker, Bad Biology, and That's Sexploitation, which is a documentary I guess he did. You can currently find this movie on a lot of places. It's on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, and Tubi. That's where I watch it because it's free. And really the only two people in the cast I'm going to mention. Only two people. First, our main guy, Dwayne, played by Kevin Van Hentenreich.
Remember Heidenreich?
That's exactly what I was saying. Saying that made me remind me of Heidenreich.
Such a fucking weirdo.
Mm-hmm. When they try to relaunch the Legion of Doom with Heidenreich and Animal, like, come on. Yeah. What the fuck?
That was bad.
That was terrible. This guy was in actually 13 credits. 3 of those are Basket Case 1 and 2 and 3. He was also in Brain Damage, directed by the same director, where he played Man in Basket.
Nah.
Wait a minute. So does brain damage and Basket Case take place in the same universe? He plays Man in Basket in a different movie. And then Casey's played by Beverly Bonner. She's getting also 13 credits. Basket Case 1, 2, and 3. However, in 3, this is weird because she plays a different character, which is really weird because normally when you same person in the same franchise, they play the same character.
Right.
You don't really have somebody come back and play a different character that's already been in the previous movies. That's just so weird. That's just weird.
Well, PJ Souls played a teacher in Halloween 2018.
Well, that's a little different.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's...
Yeah, but in 3, like I said, in 1 and 2, she kind of bigger parts. In 3, she's just a simple fast food manager, extra person.
Weird.
She's also in Brain Damage, Frankenhooker, and Bad Boundary. So all of Frank Henenlotter's other films. So again, more of this,
Want a date?
Same.
Oh man, I want to do Frankenhooker too. That's another one that we've been on our radar for a while, just haven't done.
So that's really all I got to talk about for now. I'll come back at the end and close up shop with the end of the show stuff. But so Aaron, let's open up this basket. See what we got here.
Okay, just a disclaimer. I was taking notes, and I just decided I don't want to take notes anymore. So I lifted these from IMDb. So
oh, Jesus Christ.
Just full disclaimer. Full disclaimer. These are not my words. I will edit it as much as I possible, but I'm just no plagiarism here. I'm not on that Cinemassacre shit. So. I don't know. Did you hear about that?
No.
So Cinemassacre does their Halloween movie Monster Madness thing. So their very first video, and they're saying it's going to be on our website because it's going to be too extreme for YouTube. They're going to be, showing movie clips and gore and stuff like that, right? Their very first episode, it's around the world, so it's in England, and they're doing 28 days later.
I was about to ask if you're doing you're talking this year.
This season's. This season's.
Okay.
And right off the bat. Someone at Cinemassacre, they say it's a newer employee, copy and pasted someone else's review and jokes and put it in there as their own. And so they read the first one, and the fans just jumped down their fucking throat. And they're like, whoa, James Rolfe, the nerd, was like, I had no idea. I have no clue. We found this. Hey, thank you for telling us. We had to talk with the guy. He's new. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think he was trying to harm us or harm anybody or... but we all know that's plagiarism, and we don't appreciate it. Thank you, But yeah, they caught some shit for that, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
big
time.
about that.
So I'm just full disclaimer. IMDb, thank you. So here we.
This is gonna be interesting to see how this goes.
It'll be fine. It's actually streamlined it a little bit. Most time I just talk about boobs and stuff, but anyway,
that's what the people want, man.
The people want the boobs. So first we open up a house kind of in the woods, kind of seems kind of odd. Residential home, it appears, of Dr. Julius Lifflander. That's his name. And he's trying to leave his house or laboratory, but he gets scared by some shaking and shimmering in the woods and the trees. He's like, hello, who's there? And he goes, oh, God! And he runs back to his house. Clumsily unlocks it and gets himself back in the house.
That is so awkward.
It's really awkward.
Oh, God!
Oh, God!
Oh, God!
He runs over, he calls the police on a fucking rotary phone. 1.
Yeah, kids, if you know what that is, go to the old Google machine and
oh,
look
man,
up rotary
it's
phone.
so funny. And he's
Aaron had one of those in his basement at his house. It was the basement phone line. And I actually still can't remember the number, but I don't think it's in service, but I won't say it anymore on air. But I remember when you moved, I wanted that phone. For some reason, I wanted that thing as a keepsake, that old basement phone. Because I was 90% of the time I call you, how we talk, I just call it the basement phone because you were down there playing Mortal Kombat. Or
yeah, absolutely. It was kind of my office, if you will.
Just call it the basement phone.
Just go off. Dude, my parents were fucking hippies. They had an American flag with a peace sign instead of the stars on there, hung up, and I would answer on the rotary phone like, what's up? Hurry up, man. I got fucking Scorpion on the ropes here, dude.
I love that old rotary phone.
So he's on the phone he's on the old rotary phone with the police. He's like, hello, police? Oh, God, hold on.
Hold on.
And then you hear, bonk, bonk. while. And shadows kind of moving. He's like, oh, God, police? Did the police hang up on him because they're not there anymore?
Oh, you don't put the cops on hold, dude.
Yeah.
You don't call 911 and say, hey, hold on a sec. Please, can I put you on hold?
Hold on a second,
if that's
please.
That's good for your life. You don't say, please hold.
So the cops aren't there anymore, and he reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out a gun. Pulls out a little revolver. He's like, I've got a gun, and I will shoot you. More shadows. And then he just starts shooting blindly into the night. Oh yeah, I forgot the lights got cut. When the lights got cut, he goes, oh no! Which is really funny, too. This guy's a great actor.
It's kind of awesome.
He's just shooting into the night going, bang, 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 shooting into the night. Click, click, click. He backs against the wall. You don't see anything except this big meaty hand shoots up from underneath the screen, grabs onto his face by his mouth, pulls him down. He pops back up again. His face is now bloody. He's like, and again, grabs his face, pulls him down off screen, and that's how we start the movie. That's death number 1. Nice.
Death number 1.
So we cut then to the opening credit screen, and we have Dwayne Bradley, our main character here, arriving to New York City, walking down Times Square, and we're talking Times Square when Times Square was fucking dirty.
Yeah, this is not my day, nice New York. This was
late 70s,
crime, dirty,
late 70s, early 80s.
Giuliani.
Yeah. I mean, titty clubs everywhere, nudes, 25-cent dances. I mean, it just all over the place. I'm like, shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's like tumbleweeds of newspapers just blowing down the street.
This guy comes up and he's like, hey,
everywhere.
man, what you want? You want some crack? You want some blow? I got Percocets. I got Ludes. I got LSD. I got
lewds,
Maui
I got
Wowie.
Crudes, I got dudes. I got
This
dudes.
guy's pitch was amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Just the laundry list of drugs, prostitutes, and I don't know, fucking ducks. Whatever you want, he could get it. It was incredible. And these guys, he's just he was the Times Square version of the Resident Evil merchant.
He's the shady Times Square drug dealer version.
But yeah, Dwayne's not even looking at him, just in a trance, just walking forward, carrying a giant basket, giant wicker basket. He arrives at a hotel called.
Can we talk about Dwayne's hair for a second?
Sure.
The perm on this guy was holy shit.
So big.
It's huge.
It's not necessarily an afro.
It's not.
It's
like a cross between like an afro and a mullet. If it was perm, like a perm to mullet. It's so feathery and
big.
It's
just big,
boofy,
yeah,
and long. Not that long. I mean, it's down to his back of his neck. But man, it is a sight to behold.
It is something, man. You're right. That haircut is a character in itself, essentially.
We move on. That hair needs its recognition.
Yeah. So he arrives at the Hotel Broslin, and I really wanted to call it Hotel Bronson. So I'm just going to call it Hotel Bronson.
Sure, why not?
So he arrives at Hotel Bronson, and he meets Anthony, the hotel manager, who is the best.
Yes,
thank you. Best fucking character in the movie. Boom.
Thank you. I was about to say, I love this fucking guy. This hotel guy is awesome.
Just absolutely astounding. He's a heavy-set, middle-aged guy, bald, just over-animated, New Yorker to the fucking core.
This guy wears like khakis with like just a wife beater suspenders.
A dirty shirt with suspenders. Yeah, I fucking. He's got like a nod-on cigar.
Yeah, the little nubby cigar.
Fucking love these guys.
Best character. I agree. 100% the best character in the movie.
And he's giving him shit. He's just like, look, man, I don't want any fucking weirdos. How long you stay? Well, how long are you gonna stay? A day? An hour? A day? A week? Come on! I'm like, yes. More of that guy, please.
Yes.
But Dwayne's like, no, I'm just gonna stay for a couple nights. Yeah, he pays up front, and the guy's like $20 up front, for one day. He's really aggressive about it because I guess he obviously this is a shitty hotel, a lot of low lifes there.
Yeah, that's where you gotta get the money up front.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh, no problem, and he pulls a fucking wad. A rapper style wad,
Scarface level type wad,
and just starts peeling off 20s for about like a week or two.
It's like the wad is made of like 50s and 100s,
and then he gives it to the guy. And he's just like, whoa. And he's like, okay,
real?
Yeah. He like holds it up to the light. And one of the guys in the lobby who's watching this, he's drinking. He's like, "Holy shit, he's loaded."
Yeah,
And
he's
that
like
comes-
this
yeah.
older drunken guy who's just drunk the whole time, sits in the lobby.
Yeah. So he goes up. He goes up to room 7.
But I just want to comment on there's a fun little joke there about because we're talking about Anthony, the hotel guy, because that drunk guy, like you say, like, "Whoa, he's loaded," and Anthony's like, "Yeah, so are you."
That's right.
Because he's
That's
so
right.
drunk, like, just playing words, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Anthony, you the best.
Anthony, you the best. Who better than Anthony?
No boy better than Anthony.
So Dwayne heads up to the room and he runs into Josephine, this lady who's chit-chatting about an old guest. This lady who seems like she's going to be kind of a character. She's talking about how, there was an old lady who used to live in there and she said she was rich. And she's telling a whole fucking story. And then she gets done with the story about how the old lady was rich and, we were all wrong about her. And she turns around and just runs down the stairs.
Yeah.
It's such a weird choice.
I don't think you ever see her again. Like,
You see her here and there, but she's not she's not really an important character.
no, I thought the same thing. You feel like, oh, she's gonna be around, or she's gonna be the nosy neighbor, or something. But nope.
Yep. So he does go upstairs and he goes inside his room. Dwayne unlocks his basket, and when he gets inside, he leaves and comes back with a sack full of fucking hamburgers. Just he asks the guys like, "Hey, where's some food to get? Like pizza?" It's like, and they're making fun of him. It's like, "Oh, well, we don't have any fucking escargot or leg of lamb." He's like, "No, I just want burgers or pizza," because they're making fun of him because he's got money apparently. But he comes back with just a bags full of hamburgers, and he starts dumping them into the basket. It's like, "Oh, you're hungry? Here you go."
It's Wimpy's wet dream.
Yeah. Why is such a weird reference?
It is a weird one.
I don't know if any of our listeners know who Wimpy is.
Probably not, but damn.
Wimpy was a character from Popeye who would say, "I'll pay you Tuesday for a burger today." And like he just loved burgers.
Hamburgers.
That was just a big deal.
And like the thing, it was like the comic thing. Like he'd come out like the big stereotypical like circular dining tray with like the big a metal, silver dome. Thank you, on top of it, and you'd lift up and just be like a pyramid, a pile of hamburgers for him. And that's basically so like,
dude, Wimpy, Wimpy, wow, that's deep.
Oh, that deep one, yeah.
So as the basket is eating burgers, yeah, and it's making that noise too. Dwayne is reading through a thick volume of medical papers where it appears he was a patient at one time.
Yes.
At night, Dwayne's trying to sleep, and he keeps talking to himself, and he's yelling at the basket, "Hey, quit talking to me. I'm trying to sleep here. Why do you always want to have a conversation when I'm trying to go to sleep?" And you don't hear any vocalizations, and it's clear that he seems to be talking to himself, or he's got some sort of mental problem. He just wants to sleep. Let's see. So in the morning, we have Dwayne waking up, and here's where he meets Casey. Casey is this. I don't know if she's a prostitute.
Yeah, that's kind of what I get from her. She's a prostitute.
Yeah, she seems to be a prostitute. She's a little older, a little wiser.
She's like leading like this
old
older,
man. He's like feeling on her butt. Yeah,
into a room. Yeah, she's definitely a prostitute.
Yeah, definitely. That's how she makes her money. That's how she keeps her rent. But she tells Dwayne, "Hey, I saw someone sneaking." We didn't talk about this either, but there was a guy, Brian, the old drunk guy who was loaded also, is Brian Mickey O'Donovan. He was peeping through the keyhole because he saw Dwayne had that wad of bills, and she warned him about him. And it was kind of nice because you get the idea that she's actually a pretty good person. Because she's like, "Hey, man, I heard you got money. This guy is creeping on you. Just keep your shit put away. Be careful with your money. There's someone peeping on you." And you're like, okay, this is a stand-up gal. I like her. She's all right. So Dwayne, he leaves the place with basket in tow, and he's going to a doctor's appointment. He goes to see Dr. Harold Needleman, MD.
Yes. Needleman.
So when he goes in this doctor's office, and I don't know what it's like in New York, but god damn, is this a depressing fucking doctor's office. It's just a small, windowless office and then rooms.
It's bleak.
It is really bleak looking.
Also, I love how they get like all the doctors like the nerdiest like names. You get like Linkletter or
Liftlander and Needleman.
Like you could tell like there's the guys like the tape on the glasses. Like,
Yeah.
you're like,
Needleman. This
Needleman.
writer just hates doctors.
Yeah.
So in comes Dwayne with this basket, and he starts talking to the receptionist, Sharon. And they seem to hit it off, like, right away.
Yes.
He's like, hey, I'd like to make an appointment. And she's like, well, you know, if you don't have an appointment, you know, you can, and she's ironically saying, you can see how busy we are. There's, like, no one in the office. He's like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and say you made an appointment. What's your name? And he's like, well, my name's, you know, Dwayne Bradley, but don't say that. Just say Dwayne Smith. He's a family friend. I want to surprise him. And she goes, oh, that's good. He could use a surprise.
Yeah.
She is a total ditz off the charts, but I kind of love her. She's trying to make small talk with Dwayne. And at first, Dwayne's just kind of like, hey, I don't really want to talk to you. But then after he does finally ask her for sets up a date.
She's infatuated with that hair, man.
Yeah, that hair's got some powers. It's got some powers.
He's got bigger hair than she does.
So after he sets up a nice date, he does go in to see
Needleman.
And Needleman's office is weird. It's just like, it looks like an office in like a dark wooden room, and then over to the left is the exam room, which is a very small exam room. It's just weird. So he goes in to see him, and Needleman doesn't recognize him. He's just like, who are you? What are you doing? Okay, you need an appointment? You need an examination? He's like, oh, yes, I need to be seen. He's like, take off your clothes and go in there. And so he goes in there, takes off his clothes, and we see Dwayne has a giant scar, huge scar all over the right side of his body. Needleman, he's taken aback when he sees this. He's like, oh my God. He's taken aback.
We're trying to dun 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 sound effect.
I know, right?
I don't have that one.
So Dwayne, when he gets up and he leaves, he takes off. Needleman is freaking out, and he tries to contact Lifflander, but he can't. So he decides to phone Judith Cutter. So he calls her up, and I love this fucking scene because he's calling this other doctor, and we go to the other doctor who's having dinner with a boy toy.
Yep, straight up boy toy.
Yeah, I mean, she's an older, like a middle-aged woman, still looking good. Kind of gave me a Zacorni Weaver vibe, mildly,
Yeah, very
Yeah,
mild.
I kind of got that, just the way she was calm and the way she delivered all of her lines and stuff. And she's having a candlelit dinner, and she's like, here,
She's
have
in, like,
some
the
more
tight
wine.
red dress.
Yeah,
and all
she's
that.
looking pretty, like, she's got her doomy outfit on.
Yeah.
And the guy's he's like, oh, I'm getting kind of tipsy. She's like, drink more. I like it. She's like, I'm slurring my speech. She's like, I like it when you're dumb.
Yeah. Like, I like it when you're drunk. You're easier.
You're not here for conversation, pal. You're here to pound this puss.
Exactly.
So let's just cut out the middleman. But the phone keeps ringing. She's like, I'm gonna go get that phone. She goes and answers the phone, and Needleman is freaking. He's like, this is Dr. Needleman. She's like, who? What? Who? And then she's like, oh shit, you. It's like, do you know who I saw today? And he's just freaking out about how, in came, the subject with, the subject, the special one. He's talking about how he can't get a hold of Lifflander. He suspects that Lifflander's dead, and he doesn't know what's going to happen to him. He's really freaking out, and he's trying to tell her, like, warn her, and she's like, you know what? I got some hot dick in the other room. I ain't got time for this. This is me hanging up now. Kaboom. And she handles it like a fucking boss.
Yeah, she does.
I love that.
Yeah, she's not bad. She's pretty. She's good. She's a good character, I guess.
I see how you do this now. Like you just where was I?
Where was I?
Yeah. Okay, Dwayne. We have Dwayne then. It's night that night, and he's in the cinema. He's in Times Square watching a kung fu flick. Checking out a Sonny Chiba flick. R.I.P. Sonny Chiba. And as he's watching it, he is dozing off. And I kind of feel the same because as I was watching the movie, I was kind of dozing off. Because this movie is dark, a little slow, not a lot of musical stings.
Yeah.
A lot of time. Man, there were times I was like, That's why I didn't write my notes. I'd be writing on a pen and page and just like, It's like when you're typing up a paper, like you're on a fucking all-nighter and you're writing a paper and you're typing on the keyboard and you're like, your finger falls on the Z. It's like Z, 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 Z. That's what it was like taking notes on this. But as he's watching the martial arts film, he dozes off. A thief jumps up and steals the basket and is attacked he takes the basket into the bathroom, and then you hear him just go, ah! Just screaming and yelling. Dwayne wakes up out of his sleep, runs down. He notices the basket's gone. He's like, oh, shit. And he runs down the hall. And out of the bathroom comes the thug, the thief. His face is all just torn to pieces, just scratched all up. And he runs out. And in comes Dwayne. He's like, oh, are you okay? Oh, we need to get you out of here. And it's a shot from inside the basket looking out.
Mm-hmm. POV.
Yeah, good POV.
Yeah, not so easy, is it? Doing it.
These notes kind of suck, honestly. So Sharon, we go back to Dr. Needleman's office. Sharon has left for the day. She's like, bye, Dr. Needleman.
Needleman.
And Dwayne comes up to the office, and he opens up the basket, and he leaves it open. He's like, hey, be quick about it. And when you get a chance, grab the medical records. I'm like, okay. So Needleman starts to hear more bumping and pounding. Who's there? Hello? Ah! He comes around the corner to an office and turns on the light. We see a mask kind of holding on the side of the wall. He flips on the light and bum, bum, bum. We finally see the creature inside the basket. And oh my God, does it look like crap.
It literally does. It looks like a giant mound of skin-toned shit. It's a flesh turd. It's a giant flesh turd.
There's hardly any semblance of human other than a head that goes. There's not even like shoulders.
Nope.
A head that kind of no neck, just a head that kind of goes into a massive blob. And then there's arms, like weird
like
stubby arms with like hands that have 4 fingers or 3 fingers and a thumb, like a fucking Simpsons character. You know, it's just
like the penguin from Batman.
Yes, and it's got like long nails, like almost claws.
And yeah, it's just a mound of it looks like a giant elephant turd, just with flesh colored and arms sticking out of it.
Jesus. Like how you go poop.
Look at the. Tell me that doesn't look like the poop emoji isn't based on this guy. Replace the poop emoji with this thing, and you're
not far off.
It's not that
you're
far
not far
off.
off. You have like a Halloween version of the poop emoji. So Dr. Needleman goes and has a struggle as he carries around this puppet, essentially, attached to his face, and that's going on for a while.
Yeah.
We do see Needleman's face, and the gore's not bad. There's big gashes in his face, and there's lots of blood and stuff, and basket case takes down Needleman.
Is it? No, I think that's later. So never mind. Go on. Anyway, yeah. So there you go.
Kill number 2.
Needleman's dead.
And he grabs the medical records and hightails it back to Dwayne, hops in the basket, and off they go. Dwayne is so happy with Basket Case's performance that he decides to buy him a television set. He's like, hey, man, check it out. I got it special. You can watch whatever you want. He hooks it up, and he turns it on, and it's just fuzz. And he's like, okay, enjoy, and just splits on him. I'm like, you asshole. He's in a basket, and it's hard for him to obviously get around. You didn't even, like, adjust the rabbit ears or anything. You just turned on snow.
I don't think he even put the rabbit ears up. He just plugged it in and said, I'm out.
See ya, bitch.
So just for the basket case thing does have a name.
Yeah, the name does come up as Belial.
Belial.
I don't remember when the name.
Yeah,
is
that's
said.
what I said. I don't remember where it said, but it's Belial. Which what the fuck?
That is a weird name.
Who comes up with that name?
Well, if you're gonna name
you have Dwayne,
flesh lump,
normal, and then Belial. It sounds like a fucking demon you would summon from.
Well, that's kind of what he is.
He
is just a flesh blob of terror. Belial. So I did like when Dwayne left him with the TV and he reaches out to turn the channel. It just breaks off and he's like, no!
He rages.
So Dwayne goes out on a date. I say
on a drunk?
Dwayne goes on a date with Sharon. They go to they're going sightseeing throughout New York, seeing all the hot spots, and she's like, look, if you really want to see the city, let's not go sightseeing. He's like, I don't care about seeing the city. I just want to see you. And they're like hitting it off pretty good.
She's just like, I didn't want to sightsee either. I just want to spend time with you too.
And she's not bad looking. She's easy on the eyes. I'm
Yeah.
okay with this. They start making out, and as soon as they start making out, Belial back at the hotel,
Yeah.
Bronson,
Hotel Bronson
starts going, "Ah!" A lot of that going on, guys.
Yeah.
Ah!
A lot of screaming.
Freaks
from him.
out, tumbles out of the basket, and when he tumbles on the floor, Belial suddenly transforms into claymation.
Yep.
He goes on the worst, ridiculous claymation rampage I've ever seen.
It's something.
Just
It's something.
It
man.
looks so much. It looks more a lot. It looks healthier. This version of Belial. You know, he's not like the darker skin tone. He's more flesh. He's not. He just. I don't know, how does he move? He doesn't like put his arms down to me. He just scoots. He
scoot. Yeah, it's like you would think
he just scoots around.
He would have to walk with his arms.
Yeah,
and
you have to
but
use
he
his
doesn't.
hands
His
to
arms
walk.
Are stuck like in his up, like pointed up at the ceiling thing, and he just kind of waddles. Or like it's like, you know, if you're when you're trying to move like a heavy dresser, and he's got on each side, he's kind of like corner to corner, just kind of scoot. Yeah, it's like that's basically what this thing is. It would be physically impossible for him to propel himself around like
it's like a slug or something. Like
it doesn't even suck because
yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
inch up and move. He just kind of
move. Just somehow
he just waddles from like side to side or front. Yeah,
it's really weird.
It's
looking.
ridiculous.
But
looking.
this claymation scene is bonkers. I love it because it shows him like grab like a dresser and then throw it in the claymation, and then they show a live action of someone off screen chucking a dresser against the wall
and a lamp. It's fucking ridiculous.
And this goes on for a while. But as this claymation massacre is happening, Dwayne starts to get a headache. He starts feeling, it's like, oh, God. So they obviously have some sort of psychic link, and that's the connection. Belial and Dwayne have some sort of psychic link.
Yes.
And Dwayne's like, oh, shit, Belial is pissed that I'm planning on getting my dick wet, and he is trashing the hotel. So Dwayne goes running off like a goddamn madman, holding onto his head. He arrives at Hotel Bronson, and there's a bunch of people freaking out. It's like, it sounds like there's an animal up there. And they're all freaking out, and Dwayne's like, oh, shit. He starts to run through, trying to get through the crowd of people. Sharon is behind him like, Dwayne, where you going? So she was on his tail the whole time. How far is it from fucking Ellis Island?
Yeah, they're at the Statue of Liberty at one point.
To get back to the mainland. It's pretty funny.
And if you're on foot, I mean, did he take a cab? Did she take a cab? Did they share a cab?
Did they ride the subway?
Yeah, it's like, how did she get back there with them too?
And she's like, okay, she waits a little bit for him to get a little bit of a lead, then she takes the chase. But he yells at her, he's like, get back, get out of here, get the fuck out of here. He just tries to scare her off. He runs upstairs and he's like, whoa, Belial, why'd you do? And people are coming in after him. You know, they're freaking out. He sees the smashed room. He can't find Belial. People are banging on the door like, there's an animal. There's something wrong. Someone got hurt. Whoever's in there going crazy. Everyone rushes in. No one sees anything. Someone opens the basket and looks inside the basket. Nothing's in the basket. Mm-hmm. So Dwayne's like, oh, shit. Nothing's in the basket. Okay. He's kind of like, okay, let's hope it works out. Everyone seems satisfied that nothing is in the room, but they're like, man, maybe someone out the window. Who knows? And they all leave the room. After they all leave the room, Dwayne looks over to the bathroom, and up pops a hand out of the fucking toilet. A la Ghoulies.
Fuck, it looks like a ghoulie. Yeah, a fucking toilet.
So Belial was hiding in the toilet as the mob, if you will.
Wait, was that now? Or I thought that was later when the cops show up.
Oh, it very well could be.
I think he's hiding in the toilet when the cops show up.
You're right. You're totally right. My bad. Whatever.
I don't know where he was hiding at this point. I don't know if they even got into the room at this point. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah.
So they all...
yeah, spoilers. He hides in a toilet later on in the movie.
But as that crowd that
like
was...
the shit turd.
like the shit turd he is.
Flesh turd he is.
So while the crowd was still in there, I didn't mention it. They were looking around and they saw the drunk guy who was loaded. The peeping Tom, the guy who was looking at the money, he sees the wad of money and he's like, oh shit, there's the money. Okay, I see it. He leaves. They all leave the room, but O'Donovan, that's his name is O'Donovan. He comes back when Dwayne's out of the room to come and steal the money. He comes back to steal, and he is attacked and killed by Belial in room 8. So I guess next door, he took the money, left to another room and starts counting the money. And Belial, I guess,
Belial.
Belial wasn't seen in the. Obviously, he wasn't in the toilet. He did go out the window. He comes in the other window and kills O'Donovan again. All in the glory of holding onto a puppet, screaming and scratches. And
Jesus. Get used to that noise.
No shit. Dwayne feels sick because of Belial's terror, so he comes back running to... What the hell?
That's why you take your own notes, man.
Yeah, I guess I need to. Fuck it.
At this point, I don't think much happens. We can just skip to...
The cops come by.
Well, the cops, I think, come by after they find Needleman's body. Because I guess he...
Well, they come to the hotel because of the O'Donovan got killed. They find O'Donovan's body.
O'Donovan?
Yeah, it was in the room next door. The cops come and say, hey, you're next door. Your room was wrecked. What's going on? Anything going on? You got a dog or something? And it was like, no, I don't have anything. Then they look in the basket. Nothing's there. That's when the toilet gag happens. I couldn't remember if they came. I'm so out of order here, man. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I couldn't remember if the cops come because of O'Donnell or because of... Needleman, if that connects with Needleman. But yeah, at some point the cops show up, look, and they don't find it, and he's hiding in the toilet.
I do love the black cop that's grilling him. He's doing a good job, and holy shit, the guy must be like 6'8". He has to duck to get out of the door. I mean, they didn't really like use his height in the shot.
Yeah.
But when he leaves, he like has to duck to get. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how tall is that guy? Ugh.
I know at one point, I might be skipping here, but he goes out to a bar with...
That's coming up next, yeah.
What's her name? Casey, the prostitute. And she takes them, like, hey, let's go out and just have a drink. Let's hang out and have some fun.
And Dwayne takes the basket with him. Yeah, he takes the basket with him to a bar.
Yeah, he does.
Where he gets drunk, and Casey runs into him there.
Which is weird. Like, nobody asks, like, why are you taking this giant wicker basket with you to a bar?
The only person to ask him about the fucking basket is Anthony. When he first checks in, he's like, what's in the basket? Yeah. He goes, clothes. And he's like, okay, fair enough.
Fair enough for that. Yeah, but, like, why, like, Casey, like, why nobody, you go to a fucking bar with a giant wicker basket, like, and nobody says anything.
New York was a weird place then, man. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, Dwayne's at the bar and he's getting drunk, and Casey runs into her, and she's wearing almost like a fucking genie in a bottle outfit.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's Halloween or a costume or what it is, but she looks, yeah, it's kind of like
very,
weird.
It's very,
genie,
I dream of genie,
dancer, weird disco thing.
Yeah. But she takes him under his wing because she kind of can tell he's the, like the country mouse in the big city, and decides to take him under his wing and talk to him. It's like, hey, let's go get a table over there and we'll just talk. Dwayne then spills his fucking life story to him and tells him, like, she asks, what's in the basket? He's like, my brother. And then tells him the whole story about how,
Yeah, first he's laughing. They're laughing.
Yeah, they're laughing.
Like,
they're having fun.
It's my brother. He's like, oh, that's funny. And they're laughing. Yeah, and then comes like a 20, 30-minute flashback.
And then there's a flashback where it's basically Dwayne telling his story. Mm-hmm. So Dwayne talks about their mother who died giving birth to them. He and Bilal were then brought up by his aunt. And his father would like to kill them both, especially Bilal.
I don't think the father wanted to kill them both. The father just wanted to kill Bilal. He liked Dwayne.
Well,
Dwayne was normal. And
they were a package deal at the time, so I think he just wanted to fucking destroy... they had that scene where the baby was in the crib and everyone's looking at it with horrified eyes. Yeah. And he's like, they should just kill this creature. So I guess that was that. But yeah, they have a scene where the aunt is taking care of Dwayne and Bilal when they're still conjoined, and they're bringing over an in-home instructor to meet with them.
Yeah, I can remember that, a teacher or like a social worker or something.
One of the two, and I love how the aunt is talking about how they're two different people, but she never happens to mention that they're fucking conjoined. Yeah. And when they go in, the social worker / teacher goes in to see him. They open door and Dwayne, it just looks like Dwayne standing there and he's like, huh? And he stands up and he turns, bum, bum, bum. And just Belial looks even worse.
Worse.
It looks like a paper mache head with like the spikiest teeth and like, and its eyes just move back and forth.
It's almost like, what was it? Something with a Q. The thing from Total Recall.
Quato.
Yeah. Yeah,
Quato.
Very Quato-esque. Thank you. Only I think Quato looked a little better, but...
What is your problem, Mr. Quaid?
good science fiction
It's a
movie.
good
It's
movie,
actually
yeah.
a pretty
It's
decent
really
one.
good.
Anyway, she freaks out. Belial's disgusting, weird-looking little critter. Dad decides, fuck this shit. It's just a lump of flesh hooked up to my son, who I'm considering my son. Let's get rid of this thing. Call it a day. He gets some doctors involved. Needleman, Liftlander, Cutter involved. And they come over and they basically hijack him in the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah.
They chloroform his ass. He's like, oh no. He's like, bam, gotcha, bitch. And it's funny because they knock out gas Dwayne, and then they knock out gas Belial also. And it's just this dumb puppet. God, it's such a weird scene. So they do the surgery. They remove Belial from Dwayne's body. Dwayne wakes up and he's got a bandage on the side of him. He's like, "Oh no, what happened?" It's like, "Oh, bum bum bum." Again, there's all these like weird shock moments. Dwayne decides he starts to have a mental connection. He can kind of telepathically talk with Belial now that he's been separated. And
I don't assume they've been able to do that even before they were separated.
Yeah, well, again,
but
there's nothing. They even said there's nothing connecting them just but flesh. They don't share organs. They don't share nerves or anything or whatever it was. So they don't share bones. They don't share organs. How could there be a connection? But whatever, it's fucking basket case.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
That's the explanation. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? So he mentally fucking uses his radar to find Belial, and he's in a goddamn trash dump.
He's in a hefty bag.
A hefty bag by the dumpster.
He's in a fucking hefty bag.
Are you kidding me? So they didn't even kill or euthanize.
Yeah, you would think they failed horribly for doctors. You'd think they'd be able to kill this thing or bury him or something.
Yeah, they just throw him out with the fucking trash.
Like if you're trying to be subtle, like we gotta get rid of this thing, we don't want anybody to know what we did. Bury that shit. You don't put it in the dumpster.
Throw it in the river.
Yeah. It in the river. They certainly can't swim. I mean, what's it gonna do? I mean, do something. Don't just put it in the dumpster in a fucking hefty bag.
God, so Dwayne digs his ass out. That night, Dwayne's father is woken up by, it sounds like they're fucking got a goddamn construction site going on in the basement.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, power saw, hammering, screws. Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, what's going on down there? It takes the dad for fucking ever to go from the top floor to the middle floor to the main floor to the basement, and then he's walking through the goddamn catacombs of fucking Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Like, what kind of basement is this?
It's like the mansion from it's the Spencer Mansion. Dude.
It just gets darker and weirder and more bizarre the deeper he goes into it.
It's a building from Resident Evil. That's all
it really is.
I'm surprised it doesn't have like some kind of crazy key puzzle. We had to go get like keys from different rooms and solve like emblems and all sorts of shit to unlock a door.
Got to move things, puzzle pieces around to open doors.
You need the heart key for this lock.
Right,
You only have the diamond key.
You need a red gem and a blue gem for the tiger eyes. And it just gets so weird. And he comes across, he sees that there was some sort of construction. They were putting something together. Can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
But he looks over and he sees a fucking giant saw. Like, we're talking a tree saw. Like, for cutting, like, giant logs in half. A logging saw? I don't know what you call it, but like
it's like a circular saw for like a
in a fucking mill, a tree mill.
A tree mill. It's a giant circular tree saw.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. In their basement.
It suddenly becomes like a Saw movie or something now.
What the hell is that? It's just so weird. Why would that be there?
That's how he made his money, man. He's a lumberjack. He
a singular one man, one saw, one basement. That's how I make my living.
That's how he started. He started as a simple lumberjack. That was his first saw.
There
and
you
then
go.
He rose up the ranks, and then he owned the lumberjack company, and now he's that's where they made the money.
So the father turns and looks at the saw like he's never seen it before. Like, what? And we see a hand reach up, a mangled little Belial hand, pull a lever, and somehow the fucking saw blade, the massive saw blade, becomes dislodged, rolls down a plank, and cuts Dad right in half the long way up from groin to
head,
forehead.
Yeah.
From the taint to the top.
Yeah. I kind of love that, man. It's so because it's so different from anything in this movie. It's like what?
Yeah.
It's so out of place. It's like something like a booby trap from a Saw movie or something else, where it's like this giant saw. Like you can see like these wooden like apparatus like holding it. It's like saw on a pendulum. It comes rolling down this ramp and this weird contraption. It's something else.
It's
man.
definitely something.
It's crazy.
So the ant is he's cut in half, dead bodies on the floor. The ant is then we cut to a scene where the ant's kind of like walking around, I guess in the basement. I can't tell quite where she is, but she's just like, "Hey guys, I know you're here. Don't worry. I'm not gonna, I'm looking for you guys. I'm here to take care of you. Fuck that guy. Fuck that dad. He's a piece of shit." Out comes Dwayne, gives her a hug, and then you hear Belial going, and I guess he scurries on out. And they show a picture of her raising Dwayne and Belial. And it's like, it almost feels like Little House on the Prairie. She's like in a wooden, everything's wooden. She's in a rocking chair with Belial wrapped up in like a handmade quilt.
He's like swaddled or
something. And it's just this static puppet that's going. And she's reading a story to him. I'm like, by the fire. I'm like, good Lord, what am I watching?
Yeah. It's ludicrous. It's very bizarre and sort of like, what the fuck is going on here?
And then the ant winds up dying, passing away, and I guess that's what it was, the catalyst that sent Belial and Dwayne on their revenge tours. Once they don't have anything to live for, they're like, that's it. Let's get revenge on the people who separated us.
Yeah.
And then, that's the flashback, which is a long fucking flashback. It's about 20 minutes.
30 minutes of flashback.
Yeah. So we cut back to, Casey and Dwayne getting drunk, and she's just like, I don't know if I believe all that, Dwayne. You're just drunk. He's like, I never drink. And she's like, yeah, you're drunk. You're talking shit. Casey takes him back up, helps him get back into his room. He takes the basket with him back in his room. She goes into her room next door. They show her getting ready and everything. She's, changing out of her, and they show it very plainly, her taking off her red panties. They really emphasize her taking off her panties.
Yep.
She gets in the bed. She puts her hand behind the pillow. She gets in the bed. We cut back to Dwayne, who opens up the basket, and Belial's not in there. We cut back to Casey's room, where she's putting her hands behind the pillow, and she moves the pillow out of the way, and there's Belial, like he's fucking E.T.ing this shit.
He's like, I'm under the pillow.
I'm like a pillow. She'll never know.
For a thing with no fucking legs, this thing gets around fast.
Tell me about it.
Like, how does it get around?
So she feels it, like, what the fuck is that? And then, like, turns to look. I think he grabs some boob, too. I think he does something. She's like, ah! She screams. She runs out. Everyone pours out in the hallway. And again, with just another mass of people all screaming and yelling. And this is where the gag really starts to kick in, that Anthony, the owner of the hotel, has to run his fat ass up and down the stairs. And he's like, God damn it, not again. Just running up the stairs as fast as he can. Casey's out in the hall saying, it's some creature, something was in there, something was touching me. And, people run in there, there's nothing in there. And she's freaked out. She stays with the neighbor who was the lady who told the story about the old lady. She stays with her. And everyone's in the hallway, and Anthony, the store owner's like, all right, everybody, get back, get out of here.
Nothing to see here.
It's just so over the top and crazy.
Love Anthony.
Love him. We cut back to Belial in getting back into his room via the window, and he climbs up into the basket. And when he gets into the basket, you see him looking at a pair of red panties, like, I'm like, oh, Belial, come on, you're a panty sniffer, come on, bro. You know what? I would take them socks.
Yeah.
So
fuck panties. He wants them socks.
Give me them socks.
Give me them socks.
Dwayne takes the bat. Okay. That's.
Let's see what happens. He has a date with Sharon, right? The blonde girl coming up too. Like another one, he sees her again.
Yeah, he does.
No, he goes back and sees his next appointment with the doctor with Fuller, right? The chick doctor.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, he goes to see her, and it turns out she's not actually she's a doctor, but she's not the type of doctor they expected. I believe she's actually a vet. I believe she's a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Which,
this is what we get next. Is Dr. Cutter? She's a
Cutter.
Yeah. He goes to see her, and he realizes that she's a vet. And he's like, "What the hell? Yeah. She's a vet. She's not even a doc. Jesus Christ!" He gets pissed, and rightfully so.
Hey man, you take what you can get when you're trying to do some illicit under the table.
Yeah, no shit.
Weird flesh turd removal.
So, Dwayne's in the office. The dogs are barking at the basket, which is pretty funny. Dude, listen to this description. Dr. Cutter is a veterinarian. A dog barks at a basket in the waiting room. With plenty of noise and blood, Belial kills her. That's the whole. That's what they have as the scene.
That's why you take your own notes.
That's why you take your own notes. Man.
He goes, this is like one of the best, craziest death scenes in the movie.
I know. It was like such a great scene. Everything about this scene, I actually, this is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. Because they set it up so good. You know, the guy comes in, he's got his fucking basket, he's asking to see the doctor. There's twin receptionists. They're like heavy set girls. One's got a broken arm with freckles. They're very unique looking. And it was cool that like they had these weird receptionists. You know, the receptionist I was like, okay, Dr. Cutter will see you. And he goes, he's got the basket with him, and he starts kind of like laying it's like, do you know who I am? Do you know what I did? She's like, I know, I was trying to help your father. I know I was trying to help you guys live a normal life. She's basically she's totally okay with what happened. She does not see she thinks she did God's work. You know, she separated them so they can go on, you know, living a normal life, and her father could enjoy a relationship with her normal son. And she's like, what about Belial? You left him to die. She's like, that's not a man. That's not even a human. That was a mercy. That was an act of mercy. And basically Dwayne's like, oh yeah, check this out, bitch. Opens up the basket and out pops Belial, just looking pissed. And they have the longest fight.
It's amazing. This woman fucking commits so hard to this fight scene with a flesh turd puppet that it's astounding.
It is great.
It's
it is
amazing.
Something to behold. I mean, she's screaming and crashing and banging, and it's going on for a while. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, wouldn't someone finally hear something? You know,
no one of the receptionists comes and say, is everything okay? Do you need a hand? What can we? Like, everybody's like, she's screaming bloody murder. The room is getting torn apart. Everybody's just sitting like,
they're kind of looking like, oh boy, that sounds like something's happening there.
Yeah, maybe we should help. Nah, fuck that. We're gonna sit right here.
So she manages to knock Belial off, but he just leaps right back on, just starts shredding her. He gets behind her somehow on the back of her. She opens up a cabinet, or a drawer.
He gives her the mandible claw.
Yes, he does.
He basically gets her the mandible claw, and at first he kills her by that. He gets the hand right in there, pulls her down to the ground. You're thinking death by mandible claw.
But she pops back up. He gets behind her. She opens up a drawer, and it's just full of like scalpels.
Just scalpels and needles and scissors.
Loose scalpels, just sharp medical equipment.
Yeah.
Let's just call it a box of sharps.
Yeah. The old drawer of blades.
And she's trying to grab at, you know, something to defend herself with, but she can't get a grasp. Belial takes her head and pushes it into the drawer.
Yeah. Into the drawer of blades.
When she pops back up, the receptionists are at the door, and she's got 5 or 6 scalpels just perfectly pointing out of her face.
You can see like the seam of the prosthetics, like right by her eyes, where the prosthetics where they put, which is kind of bad looking. But
oh my god,
there's like scissors and scalpels and needles just sticking out her face, and blood all over, coming out of her mouth. All over, she's screaming, "Ah!"
looking right into the camera,
Right dead center.
and just hamming it up.
Yeah, does
just
not stop.
going all the way, committing all the way, and slowly falls off, slowly sinks off screen with her hand still up, going.
So there, Beth.
Good
Best kill of the
Lord.
movie.
Good Lord.
But I can't. There's the physics behind Belial just baffle me. It's just science. I know I should be reading not even reading this at all because it's fucking basket case. Because who gives a shit, right? Like
right.
You said. But how does he have the strength, the momentum or the force to push her head down? Because he's I don't know. He's got there's no force behind it.
Right.
Not
no leverage.
Leverage. That's what I'm saying. There's no leverage there because he's gotta be clinging onto her with one arm.
Yeah,
and then
because she's bending over at the waist.
Yeah.
She can just stand up at the waist. Now he can probably push her head forward.
Maybe,
but not her whole body.
The whole body down in his drawer.
Just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not like he can put all of his flesh turdy weight in behind
How much do you think Belial weighs? 30 pounds most?
Maybe 40. Yeah, it's just a giant sack of flesh and arms. So
good Lord.
Yeah, plus he has no bones. How does his arm even work? Is his arms the only thing with a bone in it?
Right. Does he have he obviously has a skull, some sort of maybe a little spine because something's got to connect to the arms.
Yeah.
It has to be connected.
I want to see X-rays of Belial.
Right?
Damn it! I want Belial X-rays now.
Right. I'm right there with you, man.
I want to see how his anatomy is. Anyway,
God.
so Doctor's dead.
Doctor's
best,
dead.
Best
death. Yeah. So we cut to Sharon visiting Dwayne. Then she wants to let him know that Dr. Needleman is dead. They start to make out again, and he's got her on the bed. It looks like they're about to start banging.
Yep.
But Belial does not want this to happen, and he pops up out of the basket and starts going, just looking insane. Dwayne kind of holds down Sharon so she can't see around him, and she's looking back at Belial like, get the fuck back in the
she
basket.
can see Belial, I think, at this point.
Well, she doesn't freak out. She's like, Dwayne, get off me. He's holding her down.
No, she's freaking out because she sees Belial. She's like, Dwayne, she wants to get away from that thing.
That's not what I got. I got that he was holding her down. She was trying to see what the commotion was. And he's like, because he throws the blankets on top of her and pushes her out the door, I think to keep her from seeing him. I don't think she ever saw him, but she knew something was
okay.
Fucked
Maybe
up.
but Stephanie hears him. She's
she knew something was going on.
She's like, get off me.
Yeah.
And at this point, I guess, do you think Belial's kind of like an evil Pokemon, too?
Okay, explain.
I don't know. Pokemon live in little balls that come out of balls. I don't know. But he lives in a basket.
It's like, go fight.
Yeah, and Dwayne's using Belial to
fight my fights.
Kill people for me. Like, Belial, I choose you. And he throws the basket at the doctor, and Belial just comes out there, woo, like this animal. It's a Pikachu or something. It's just Belial going, rah! I want to see Belial in a Pokemon game.
Dude, I like it.
I don't even do Pokemon Black, but I know Cincinnati Jeff does.
I know the Dukes of Spook know about Pokemon.
I want to see a Belial Pokemon card. If it's a card game, I don't know. Or what.
Yeah.
Put Belial in Pokemon.
What's his powers? What's his his weaknesses? That kind of thing. Stairs.
Stairs. Stairs are his weakness.
But yes, Cincinnati Jeff, not just McWerewolf. Check out the Dukes of Spook on Here Comes the Spooky podcast. They're great.
Or maybe artists out there want to make a Belial Pokemon card, like fan art. Do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Want to make a Belial Pokemon card.
That'd be fantastic. So this is where we find Dwayne gets pissed off at Belial for the first time, and he's just like, God damn it, Belial, I want love. Why can't you understand that? Why, just...
Yeah, every time I'm about to be happy, you gotta come and fuck it all up.
Yeah, he's getting really pissed off, but you could tell there's some true tension coming up here.
Yeah.
Dwayne falls asleep, and Belial's looking at him thinking, oh shit, is Belial gonna kill him? It's kind of a hence. It was just really short. And yeah, when Belial looks at him, he doesn't kill Dwayne. He just kind of looks at him. He goes out the window.
Yeah.
When he goes out the window, oh God, okay.
He's like fleshy Spider-Man now. He just shoot fleshy tendrils out. Is that how he gets around? like venom through tendril. I don't know. They just swing around a flesh string.
Dwayne is still in bed, and he starts dreaming of himself naked running through the city.
And ladies, you're in for a treat.
Or fellas.
Because you're going to see him hanging dong, running down his dark street, dick flopping around his beautiful pubic bush.
Bro, I don't know if it's something with the 80s, but that bush was just as fucking fantastic as his hair.
Yeah, dude.
It was so gigantic.
Dude, I think his bush was permed, man.
It just starts under his belly button and ends mid-thigh. The thing was gigantic.
Huge bush. And here you see his little flesh
flopping sausage.
dog just flopping around in that jungle down there.
But hey, man, good on him.
Yeah.
And they show it a lot.
They do.
There's a lot of flopping dong.
Yep.
Yeah. But we cut to Sharon sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it cuts back between the two of them sleeping, or, dreaming and sleeping. And then all of a sudden we see Belial in the room with Sharon.
How does he know where she lives?
Yes. Well, maybe the psychic connection.
But it's only with, as far as we know, Dwayne doesn't even know where she lives. He's never been there.
She did write her address for him.
I thought it was just his number. She
wrote
phone number.
down it's like, where do you, because he did ask when they were getting ready for their date, where do you live?
Okay.
And she wrote down an address. So maybe.
All right, maybe then.
But even then,
still, he should know.
He's a blob in the city.
Does he know how to read?
Exactly. Well,
I get
the
maybe
aunt was reading to him, so I'm
doesn't know
guessing
he knows how to read though. He doesn't even know. For him, he can't even talk.
Right.
He doesn't know what words.
Well, he can psychically connect.
Yeah, maybe just emotionally though. Maybe it's not words.
Yeah. This is we're getting pretty deep into basketball.
Yeah. Well, there's something this deserves to be answered. These questions. That's why we get paid the big bucks.
We ask the tough questions. Can basket case read? So
how does he poop? Well, he is poop, but I mean, seriously, if this guy's, how does he eat? He's eating all his burgers.
He eats the shit out of those burgers.
Yeah, he's eating burgers. Where's he shit?
Where's his anus?
Where exactly? How does he pee? Is it like the South Park? Does he poop out his mouth? Like what is going on? I want answers to Belial.
Just when they think they have the answers, I change the questions. Good Lord. All right, so Belial's now checking out Sharon's, sleeping body. He pulls off her clothes, and we have titties.
Titties!
It's close to the end of the movie, and we get titty shot. So, there we go. Got some boobies. Yes, we're adults.
And they're nice looking boobs, actually.
Yes.
It's much nicer than I expected. I was like,
yes. And
dude,
nice I love when Belial is touching her titties. At first he just goes, boop, just touches the nipple, just boop, like
it's like a cat. He's like, just doing that little
little touch,
like boop, boop,
yeah.
Boop, boop. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like,
yeah. Then he gets the full on grope.
Yeah.
But I swear it's like tune in Tokyo, just twist the nipple, just a little touch of the nip. Oh my God, it was so great.
And then. What
we see next is Dwayne wakes up and he realizes that he's not dreaming because he's kind of like he's dreaming that he's making love to Sharon and he's having like this dream and all of a sudden he wakes up and he realizes, oh shit, this isn't a dream, this is Belial. He hops and then he cut the Belial and he hops on top of Sharon. He's feeling her up. She wakes up. It's like a POV shot of like the camera on her hips and like looking up at her, just screaming. He reaches up and like grabs her mouth or head.
Mandible claws that shit
again.
And
he like knocks her out.
Yeah, like,
she passes out.
Mandible claw style, iron claw or something like that.
We see the fucking iron claw. You get the invincibility of the iron claw.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
And dude, I just fucking love. We see Dwayne running down the street. He finally he runs over to Sharon's place.
Runs. Again,
yes.
I guess she must not be that far away for Belial to get there.
New York's not. I mean, it's a big city, man.
It's the biggest city in the world.
Well, it's populated, densely populated.
Yeah, okay.
But Jesus Christ, he finally gets to her house.
And Belial, oh my God.
He is in the middle of Humpa Dumpa.
No, he's not even that. He is literally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in the middle of humping.
He's not humping. He ain't humping. He is literally eating her out.
No.
Yes, dude. Did you not see the blood?
He's on top of her.
His face is in her crotch, and there's blood all around her.
No, I saw him holding on his little arms and her hips, and he's on top, like rubbing back and forth.
He's eating her pussy.
Totally didn't.
There's
no.
blood all over
Yes,
her.
there is blood all over because I guess he's got claw dick that just comes out like fucking Sadler from Resident Evil 4. You know.
I swear he is eating her. He's like, he is down there munching on that muff, just eating it, and that's why there's blood there. Because when Dwayne comes in, he's trying to rip him off. He's got his teeth because he won't.
He can't get her off. Yeah,
because his teeth are bedded in.
I just thought he had like a hooked barbed dick.
Oh God, I don't know what's worse than Jesus Christ. No, he's like eating. He's like,
God damn, is it fantastic to see?
Oh.
It's so crazy looking. Because here you have
she's
this,
dead. I mean,
yeah,
she's
just hot naked lady there with this fucking shit turd puppet on top, blood all over, and the guy's trying to pull her off, and it's just so bonkers.
Can you imagine that actress during this scene, like trying to act like, okay, first of all, you're gonna have to act with this turd puppet.
It's a living,
and you're gonna be naked.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on top of your crotch.
We're going to cover you in fake blood all over you.
All your crotch. And you just have to lay there while another guy comes running in, while you're naked still, by the way, and tries to fight this puppet off your crotch. And you just lay there dead and naked.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
For this movie. It's like, what is the pitch to get... You have to tell a woman to do that, you know?
Well, here in the description it says, Belial is making love to her. By that... Belial is killing her with lots of blood spilled all over the place. That's all it says.
Okay, terrible. Dude, you can't do this
anymore. Yeah. And do you want to hear the rest of it? Because there's like one sentence left.
Sure.
So, okay, let's let our version go first.
We'll read at the end because I want.
Yeah.
So basically,
Dwayne starts running down the street with the basket in tow, and he's like, "I can't believe you did that. I just want to be happy. Why have to ruin everything?" And he'll like stop and like bash the basket against the wall, throw it down, kick it, pick it back up, walk around with it. He's really like giving the basket the old 1-2 as he's walking back to his hotel, just yelling at it. You know, he crashes into the hotel. He throws it against the steps. Anthony's like, "What the hell's going on?" You know, I don't know if it's right at this point or not, but at one point he goes, "This isn't a hotel, it's a nut house."
Yeah, I know, that's what I love.
He's like, it's not the scene, but at one point he's like running down the stairs. And he goes, "This isn't a hotel, it's a nut house."
I think that's when, I think that was back when Casey got attacked. But yeah,
so funny.
Great. Again, Anthony.
Wonderful.
So yeah, he gets back to his room. And he's yelling. He's like, he's frantic, grabbing us. Goes, "We gotta leave now. We gotta go. We gotta blah blah blah." And he's like, "I should kill you. I'm gonna kill you," or something.
And Belial ain't playing that shit.
No, Belial, he erupts out of his basket again, just screaming all like,
and flies across the room somehow.
Somehow, how is he propelled? What is propelling him across his room? He has no legs to jump. Like, what is happening? But he launches out of the basket, attaches Dwayne. Dwayne and him fight. He gets Belial off him, and then Belial grabs Dwayne by the junk.
Oh my God.
Belial's like on the bed at this point, and Dwayne's next to him. He grabs Dwayne by the junk, just a big, meaty flesh hand by the junk, lifts Dwayne up off his feet.
By his crotch.
By his dick, basically. In comes, I think, Anthony and a bunch of
people, yeah.
They're all coming out to and they see Belial holding Dwayne up by the dick off the ground.
And they're just like, holy shit!
Belial's like, and eventually, I guess, they
fall to the ground.
They fall out the window.
Yeah, they fall to the ground. They struggle some more, and Dwayne falls backwards out the window.
Yeah, they're fighting. So they both fall out the window. The camera pans out to the window, and there's Belial with one hand holding onto the fire escape.
It pans over, and there's like a group of like prostitutes,
yes.
like 4 prostitutes, like sitting there like, "So what you think about that, John? They're just smoking cigarettes and they're just talking." And one just kind of looks up and takes a few steps and goes, "Oh my God!
Oh my God!"
And we see Belial hanging on to the neon sign that says Hotel Bronson.
Wasn't that? I thought it was the fire escape.
No, it was the neon sign. And he's got one hand holding on to it. The fire escape above the neon sign, but the neon sign's right there.
Yeah, I'd say
he's holding on and with one hand, and the other hand's completely extended, and the other hand just has a fucking death grip around a stranglehold around the neck of Dwayne.
His neck now. Yeah,
it's so ridiculous looking. It's so crazy looking.
This is what Sylvester Stallone watched. Like, we have to do this cliffhanger. This is cliffhanger. This is where he got inspiration for cliffhanger. And he's hanging there, and Dwayne's like, death grip on Dwayne's neck.
And he's choking and choking and choking.
And
I'm
Blyle's like,
and he's losing his grip a little bit. And I'm thinking, okay, Dwayne's going to get loose or something's going to... Nope! He fucking chokes out and he kills Dwayne before Belial loses his grip. Yep. And they both go plummeting about a story or two.
At least two.
Yeah, to the ground.
Maybe three.
Plonk.
On
Splat on the sidewalk.
Dwayne hits first, and then Blyle's fleshy turd mound just plonk right there next to it.
There's an above shot where everyone, like the prostitutes and the people from the hotel, all run out and like, oh my God, look at this crazy mess that's happened here. Everyone's freaking out. The camera starts to pan back. Roll credits.
That's it.
That's Basket Case.
That's it.
So do you want to hear what...
now I want to hear what that last... what they...
Okay, so this is Belial after he kills, it says, Belial killed her, there's lots of blood that was spilled. This is where it picked up. Dwayne is so angry with Belial that he tries to kill him. Dwayne takes Belial back to the hotel where they fight until they both tumble out the window to their deaths. Nothing, that's it!
How do you leave? That's like the most... Again, there's very few crazy scenes, but that ending scene is insane with Belial just grabbing him by the junk and lifting them off the ground, off the floor with one crazy mutant super strength hand and just holding him by his dick. And at one point you can see the wires holding Dwayne up.
Yeah.
And then he comes rushing in and Dwayne's like, ah! And they're like, oh my God, it's bonkers. It's a crazy fucking scene. And then the death grip outside, like and that required more than one sentence. All right, so that's Basket Case, guys. Let's move on to our favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right, I'm pretty sure we've already said it, but just for go on record.
Dr. Cutter.
Dr. Cutter.
Absolutely. I mean, agreed. Honorable mention, Dad getting killed by the saw.
Yes. Honorable mention, yes. Yeah. I agree. That's honorable
mention. But the way Dr. Cutter...
And maybe even sharing, because that's...
Yeah.
But Dr. Cutter is by far the best. Yeah.
The Dad's was okay. I think it could have been the best if they just would have shown more. I mean, it'd be an expensive gag to do or trick, because I'm sure this is pretty low budget. But yeah, Dr. Cutter all the way.
100%. All right, 100% agree. That was quick and easy. Moving on to odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it 6.2 out of 10. Higher than I thought.
Yeah, especially for IMDb.
Rotten Tomatoes, holy shit, 76% on the thermometer. That's the critic score, 76. That's one of the highest ratings we've seen for this movie. Audience score, 54%.
That seems more like it.
Still high, but 76 for a fucking...
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really weird. Amazon, 4.5 out of 5.
No shit.
Yes. I was like, boom, mind blown. Did not expect those. Plot keywords, 132 plot keywords. Here are some of them.
So go ahead.
All right. Wicker basket.
Yes.
Sexual arousal.
Yeah.
Rape.
Yeah.
Garbage bag.
Garbage bag.
Crotch grab.
Yeah.
Boxer shorts. White briefs.
Oh,
One of our favorites. Psychotronic. Boo! Boo! Psychotronic. And
are they back? Are they back?
I think you know where you're going.
It's gotta be panties, baby.
You know what? They're back. They're back. They're back. They're back.
Panty lovers.
Red panties.
Red panties. Thank you, panty lovers. Keeping the tradition of horrible horror having panties as a plot keyword continues.
Yes.
We've had a gap for a while.
We did have a gap, but they're back. So nice to see they've been gone but not forgotten. They're coming back.
Well, once you started saying boxers, I'm like, oh yeah, panties have got to be in here.
That's why I saved that one for last. All right, trivia. Surprisingly, a lot of trivia for this movie that I've dug up. So for most of the credits that appear at the end of the film are fake. The crew was so small, it was very, very small, and rather than repeat the same names over and over again, they decided to just start making up names for the credits. According to writer-director Frank Henenlotter, he was emboldened to make the movie because he believed that nobody would ever see it. He claims to have been horrified when it became a success. More than 30 years after its initial release, it remains a cult classic among horror fans. In addition to providing a face cast for the Belial puppet, Kevin Van Hentenryck also performed the Mutant Twins voiceover effects. The film, keep this in mind, the film's budget was so low that the crew would go dumpster diving for discarded furniture and plumbing to dress the sets.
Wow.
The idea for the movie came to Frank Henenlotter when he was brainstorming movie titles that hadn't been used before. The title Basket Case made him think of a monster living in a basket, and the film evolved from there. Sharon's actress Terry Susan Smith wore a wig for all of her scenes because she was bald at the time of filming. So that's why her hair looked so big and poofy. It was a wig.
Her hair?
Mm-hmm. Sharon.
She was wearing a wig?
Yeah, apparently she's wearing a
Pretty
wig.
good looking wig.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah. The role of Casey was originally much smaller, but after director Frank Henenlotter saw Beverly Bonner's performance as a character, he expanded the character to a secondary lead, and she's appeared in all of his films since from that point on. In 2015, 30 years after the film's release, Casey's, again, actress Beverly Bonner starred in a stage production called Casey 30 years later with a screaming of Basket Case before the show. So she went on to make a one-woman show or something about her character after the events of Basket Case.
Hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
Good for her.
I would
that's
actually
awesome.
like to see that.
No
I
shit.
think. I'd be very intrigued. The scenes at the Statue of Liberty were shot without a permit. The crew figured by the time they would be asked to leave, they would have gotten all the footage they needed for the brief scene.
Guerrilla style. Like it.
The centerfold on O'Donovan's wall is of Mary and Madeline Collison, Playboy's first twin playmates.
Yeah.
So there's the theme of the twins. We had Belial and Dwayne. We had the twin receptionists. Now there were twin playmates on a poster in there as well.
Cool.
Puppetry for Belial is performed by the producer's 8-year-old daughter after the puppet shrank down to be too tight for adult hands. So in some scenes, you had the director's daughter operating Belial.
That's
I
awesome.
hope it wasn't a scene where she was grabbing the dude's dick. I really hope that was not the scene.
Yeah, there could be some weird issues there. But man, that's that. Think about being a kid. Be like, okay, you get to be part of the production crew. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool.
That'd be so cool.
During the street shots where Dwayne first arrives in New York, a raving man bursts out of a porno star and threatened the crew not to film at his store. So that had been the opening scene with the drug dealer where they're walking by there. But yeah. One of the fake names in the credits is Watson Pritchard. This is the name of Elijah Cook's character in House on Haunted Hill. And at one point, Kevin Van Heikenreich refers to Dwayne during a scene with Casey at the bar, often thought to be a continuity error. Van Heikenreich said in later interviews that he did this intentionally as he was playing Belial during that sequence. So I don't know if that's just him trying to cover up a fucking goof later down the road, but yeah, that's when he's in the bar talking to Casey, he refers to himself or as Belial or something like that instead of Dwayne. And I think that's just him saying, "Oh, I was really Belial speaking through me, and that's why." But that's never happened in the movie before. They never did that. Never did that. I think that's just him trying to cover up a
Perfect.
blooper.
That'd be kind of cool if they did that.
Yeah, if they led or did more of that, that'd be kind of interesting. It definitely help establish that psychic, weird, maybe multiple person. Definitely add layers to this, especially if you didn't see Belial right away, and it was more of like a maybe he's just got multiple personality disorder and he's going back and forth, and maybe Belial's not real or he's just a dead thing in a basket. He's already king. That would have been really kind of an interesting way to go too. But that's it. That's
if he's just carrying around like a rotting pile of Belial goop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been dead this whole time, but he's just in his head. He's been crazy. That would be actually really interesting.
A true basket case.
True basket case. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. So that brings us to the budget game. Why won't my cue work?
Time for Aaron to blow his wad with the budget game.
How do you know I'm going to blow my wad?
I don't know. I just haven't used that one in a while.
Yeah.
I want to mix it up.
Okay. All right.
But I just had a feeling.
1982. You already kind of tipped your cap a little bit, saying that the crew had to go dumpster diving for.
That's not tipping my hat. That's trying to give you a.
Well, whatever.
Yes.
tip of the cap, kick in the nuts, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Kicking the nuts.
So 1982, horror still, like, it's getting hot at the time. It's not in its fever pitch yet where everything was, when production companies were throwing more money at people to make these films. Things were shot guerrilla style. I mean, really, there was no special effects, essentially, other than the Belial critter, a little bit of claymation. A lot of shots, though, a lot of locations. I mean, you had Times Square, Ellis Island, doctor's offices, bars, two or three different spots.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say $200,000.
$200K. All right. Aaron, guess $200,000. No! No!
Well, yeah.
No.
Okay.
You were wrong, and you did blow your wad.
All right.
The budget started at $16,000.
Holy cow.
It ended up at $35,000 by the time it was done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really impressive for what they did for that little
They did a
money.
lot of they'd film stuff and then they take around to investors and keep showing them stuff, and over time they start get more money to put back into it. So it was very, very, very low budget, and then they kept trying to have to earn money to keep filming as they went along because they'd run out of money or they'd have to. So yeah, there was a very low budget movie.
Oh, fucking A. Way to go.
Yeah.
Do you have any gross?
No.
Damn.
I don't even know if this was released in theaters. I think it was probably straight to VHS.
Well, it fucking.
I mean, it was independent. There's
Right.
probably no way this was a theatrical release. But no, I have no idea what this.
I'm
movie
sure he made his nut back though, man.
At least now in
Big
DVD
time.
sales
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Syndication, yeah.
Syndication. I've never seen this
Well,
thing
that's
on TV.
you know what I mean.
but
You know
yeah.
what I mean. But being on platforms for
Yeah.
rental
Or
and
whoever owns the
streaming or
copyright
whatever.
to it
Yeah.
now. But all right, let's move on to Mortal Kombat.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad. Right versus wrong. Light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat combat?
All right. So I realized I did have a fail sound effect for when you failed that.
Oh,
I forgot. My soundboard here gets a little.
I thought you would have definitely hit me with The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for, but I couldn't find it at the time. I'm like, oh wait, there it is. So I just went with the closest thing. Like, I was kind of
So
paying.
you got
I need something. I need
You
something.
got Christian Bale yelling at me.
Yeah,
That was
I figured
rude.
that's a good backup. All right, Mortal Kombat Combat. We had 840 total reviews. Again, this blows my mind. 75% of them are 5 stars.
Cult classic, baby.
Only 5% are 1-star reviews. So very one-sided battle this week. Start with the 5 stars. We have Movie Man Kev, who I think we've seen before. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Just writes a heartwarming tale of brotherly love. 5 stars.
That's funny.
From Michael P. in the D. This is a movie.
Great name.
Yeah. This is a movie to watch if you like Troll 2, Evil Dead 2, etc. I also recommend Savage Island. Sorry, that was my comic book geek coming out. Savage Island and Savage Abduction, 2 completely unrelated films. If you are a glutton for movie pain, 5 stars. Now, I don't know if I would rate this up there with Evil Dead 2. I don't know about that. Troll 2?
Yeah.
Maybe. But Evil Dead 2 is kind of, I don't know if I put it in that category. No. Mateo S. Basket Case is a rite of passage for the uninitiated horror fan and comfort food for the seasoned. If you simply haven't lived until you experience this trashy masterpiece, 5 stars. I can kind of get behind that. F. Johnson, this movie is gross and weird and goofy, 5 stars.
Preach.
Candle Lover. Oldie but goodie. Love it. Check out Mother's Day. Which I put that because we have checked out Mother's Day. Check out our episode of Mother's Day from like 3 years ago. It's been a while.
God damn.
And from Magician writes, My wife's favorite movie. I don't know why, but happy wife, happy life. 5 stars. That one made me laugh.
That's a good one.
So that was, I mean, there were a lot of 5 stars. So those were just some of the ones.
Sure.
Move on to 1 star. From Tom Hunter, 1968. Horror classic, ... Hated it. 1 star. Lynn Allen. I remember watching this as a kid and feeling creeped out by it. So I wanted to watch it again as an adult. And it was so cheesy. But I could see why I thought it was creepy. Maybe a remake would be better. 1 star. Crypto EMT. Unless you enjoy movies that are not funny, not scary, and have the worst actors this side of rodeo clowns, do not watch this series of horrible flicks. Putrid. Not even so bad it's funny. Absolutely the worst films in the history of mankind. Heed my warnings. Sucks. 1 star.
One of the worst usernames of mankind. Crypto EMT.
Ugh. And that's it, because all the rest of them were just fucking War and Peace length novel reviews, like just page long reviews, or they're just people bitching about like the actual packaging or the Blu-ray transfer,
Right.
not the actual movie itself.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, it's not. So there wasn't much to go with this week as far as that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's that. Let's wrap it up.
That was Basket Case.
I mean, now there was something. Remake. That's an interesting one. Reboot or boot or reboot?
Boot or reboot?
We
Yeah, I
haven't done
kind of
that in a while.
dust off that old chestnut. You know what? I'm gonna say reboot.
Really?
Yeah, because it is a quote unquote cult classic, but it's still obscure enough that not a lot of people have seen it or have any interest in seeing it. And doing a reboot, and you maybe can even incorporate some of the ideas that we tossed around before. Yeah, it could be kind of fun. And plus, you can get a little more scientific with it. You can answer some of those unanswered questions. That might be kind of fun. I think it could definitely be redone, and it would, while still paying homage to the original, I would say reboot. I would like to see a different version of it, or a more cleaned up version of it.
I say boot it.
Really?
I'm with an asterisk, and I'm going to touch on what you said in a minute. I'm going to say do not reboot it if you're going to remake it just the way it is, because this movie is terrible. It is a cult classic because of its terribleness and because of its horribly cheesy, low budget effects, and that's where it gets its weird charm from.
Yeah.
If you redid it with Marty stuff and try to redo Belial, Marty, and make him look good, I think it loses its charm and its place in the cult pantheon of movies or whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a multi-million-dollar budget to reboot it.
Right, but I'm just saying I would just leave it. Just leave it be its cheesy, historic nostalgia case or whatever it is you want, and leave it alone. But if you are gonna reboot it, here's what I say: is we go back, you reboot it different, kind of like what I said, like instead
of like the ideas
leave
we kind of
Belial
brought
dead,
up.
leave him dead, and he's just dead in the basket. Maybe it's all the same until and do it like Basket Case meets Psycho type thing, where the surgery happens, Belial dies, but Dwayne is so obsessed with it, takes the dead Belial thing out of the trash and keeps in the basket, and then he starts going crazy.
He quote unquote transforms into Belial to commit these murders.
Yes, and the big reveal at the end is that Belial has been dead the whole time, and it is just Dwayne as a separate, alter ego or something like that. And maybe that would be the direction, and that way you don't have to you don't lose the crappy yet charming effect of the crappy, original
Monster,
Belial, which I think would tarnish a remake value. And kind of like, I think a remake in that case would be very bad, because I don't think that the charm of its terribleness is what makes it charming and watchable. If you did now, I think it'd just be a bad, shitty movie that wouldn't be having lasting.
I say reboot.
I say reboot, but you'd have to change. I think you change up where Belial's dead and Dwayne's just multiple personality. He's absorbed and is just going do it that way. Then I think it could be interesting, and I'd be more interested in watching that kind of remake than an official remake of the original.
Dude, I wonder number 2. I mean, we saw Belial and Dwayne fall to their deaths.
Yeah, they come back. I guess they didn't die.
Yeah,
they're unconscious, and then I think the third one of them is like. they have a kid. Like Belial has a kid or something
Yeah.
like that. So Belial bangs something. I don't know if he bangs a trash bag or he, roadkill skunk or something like that. Whatever the fuck he's having sex with, but he somehow there's a baby involved. So that one we might have to get to. I don't think I ever saw that one. I think I did see number 2 at one point, but I don't think I saw the third one with the kid, the Belial baby. All right, so that's that. So final thoughts, Shane. What we got this week?
I'm kind of torn because it is a classic. It is something that I do think every horror fan, like hardcore horror fan, should see.
Mm-hmm.
But that still doesn't really save it for me.
Yeah.
I'm still going to say So Bad It's Scary. It's not one that I want to go out and own. Like Night of Something Strange. I own that because it was awesome. And it was low budget and totally weird, but I had so much fun watching it. This one, I didn't have a lot of fun watching it. It was okay. I got bored at certain times. And there was that 80s charm. I'm really having a hard time saying So Bad It's Scary, but I'm still going to lean into it because I'm probably not going to watch it again anytime soon.
Right.
If it's on at a party or something, I'll be like, hey, I've seen that. Yeah, it's a goofy. But I mean, I just don't think it's not good enough to own and want and to watch over and over again. There's better movies to goof on with your friends at Halloween parties or things like that. But I do think hardcore horror fans should see it. I still think that. I still think it's got its place for a reason. It's one of the first of its kind to really lean into the camp, like to try and be serious but still be campy. So, that's kind of my thought. I feel like
I'm actually right there with you.
I feel like really 50-50,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to watch it again. So I'm going to say So Bad It's Scary.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I was torn. Like, I don't know where I go with this one, and for the exact same thing, because it does have a kind of classic 80s horror. Like when you think of cheesy,
it has its place.
It's like at the top of the list of like the cheesy bad 80s horror movie. This is kind of like Troll 2 or something like that. It's infamous for how bad this movie is and the ridiculous premise and all that and the bad effects. And I agree. Like I think horror fans should watch it once and just to experience it and say, yeah, you've seen this piece of odd cinema history, if you want to call it that, and they experienced it one time. But like I said, I don't think it's not one that's in my rotation. I wouldn't really watch it again. It's like, okay, once you see it, you can move on. It is a bad movie. The actors are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
The writing is not great. So I kind of agree with you. Like from that point, like I'm also gonna say So Bad It's Scary. Like asterisks by it, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. So Bad It's Scary. It's like it's like obligatory viewing. Like you have to, it's like you have to watch it once. It's like high school English, like literature books. Like you have to read it.
To Kill a Mockingbird, everyone's read it.
Everyone's read it. It doesn't mean I don't think it's that great. I don't understand why people get so like, but you have to read it because it's just one of the classics.
Right. It's just
and
something
you read
that
it once, you
read.
move on. You never have to touch the game, but you can say, yeah, I've read it. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel about this movie. So I'm going to say So Bad It's Scary as well.
But watch it if you haven't because you just have to.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Do your homework. Watch Basket Case. You'll never have to watch it again.
Exactly. So that's it. So that's going to do it for us. We'll wrap it up. All right, guys. Again, thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Love you. Check us out on,
We love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Twitter, iTunes. Well, yeah. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Patreon if you want to help support the show. That really goes a long way. And of course, you can find us everywhere.
Boy, the enthusiasm is just.
Because I'm stumbling through and I feel like, like we say this all the time. Like, you guys know where we're at now. If you're listening to us already, you already listened to us. You've already found us somewhere. So, good on you. I guess. I don't know what the. Fuck it. I
Oh, boy.
Something. You know the fucking deal. Watch more horror movies. And remember to always keep it tight.
Belial, get back in your basket.